What up, Rick? I'm waiting on my boy Rick. I'm clicking on the link. Rick gonna join us in the live. Just click on the link right there, Rick. So we're gonna just talk about some stuff today, guys. We're just gonna talk about barbecue talk. But before I do anything, I want to make sure my boy Rick is on. We're gonna talk about the cook we had yesterday. What's up? What's up, man? How you doing, brother? From GA. Yeah, we're gonna talk live. I want my boy Rick to come on. So Rick gonna come on, and we're gonna go ahead and get him into the chat. What's up, people, man? What's up, y'all? How y'all doing today? And yeah, my boy Rick. We got everybody in the house today. We got 23 people, so I'm gonna just talk about a little bit about the cook. What's up, guys? New Orleans in the house, South Carolina in the house. Y'all, we're waiting on my boy Rick to jump on in. I want to go ahead and okay, FLA in the house. FLA, where I stay playing parlay, representing GA, Georgia Beach in the house. GA 229 in the house. Ooh, representing. Albany, Albany, Georgia, 229 in the house. What's up, New Mexico in the house? Much love from Duval County. Okay, Jacksonville, FLA in the house. Got my FLA aliens in the house. Ooh, killed it. Man, guys. Perry, Florida in the house. That is Sumter County? Perry, Florida? I think this is Sumter County. Okay. Portland, Oregon. What's up, Portland? Mrs. Scott, how you doing? Ooh. Ooh. The champ ain't cooking nothing today, guys. The champ ain't, but we're going to talk about some cooks, though. I'm going to talk about, man, I couldn't even go live yesterday, man. We were so busy. The moment we set that trailer up, we got hit hard yesterday. We got hit hard. Where my boy Rick at? Where you at, Rick? The meat stall. Where my meat stall? I'm going to put Rick. I'm going to go to my boy Rick meat stall and put his website, his YouTube channel in the chat, so you can go over there and subscribe and comment to the meat stall. So yeah, let me get on subject, guys. Let's get on subject. So, man, all right. So we use butcher's paper instead of aluminum foil, guys, and I got to say, man, like it's just such a interesting thing. When I put that extra virgin olive oil on that butcher's paper and wrap the brisket, that did it. That did it. I know I say I like foil better than I like aluminum foil, but I got to switch it up now. Now it's all about, I don't like nothing on my neck too much. I'm sorry, guys. I was out visiting people today and I got to take this stuff off my neck. It just was bothering me. I don't like nothing around my neck too tight like that. Ooh, that's better. So we're out. So, oh, there go my boy Meat Star right there. I'm bringing you in, Rick, okay?
All right.
What's up, brother?
What's happening with you?
Man, I see the palm trees in the back.
Yes, sir.
I see you out by the pool. I see you out by the pool today. I'm kind of jealous, Rick. I got good news.
Come on out to California.
Man, I know, man. The snow melting here in Iowa, so that's good news for me. We got the snow melting. Hey, guys, I put my boy Rick right there. The meat saw in the chat right there. So Rick,
Yes,
we
sir.
talking about brisket. We talking about brisket, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I used that butcher's paper, and what I did was, do you got YouTube open, Rick?
Yeah, I got YouTube open. Hear some reverb or something?
Yeah. Mute your YouTube.
All right, hold up.
All right, guys. So I Rick mutes his YouTube. He gonna let his StreamYard continue playing.
How about now? I just cut it off.
Oh, you did?
It's better?
Let me Oh, a lot better.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't hear nothing on my end, do you?
No, you sound good.
Okay. Everybody put ones in the chat. Ones in the chat. If I sound pretty good. Okay. I want to make sure. All right. I'm sounding good, Rick. So, what's that noise? Okay. Everybody can hear me. So, it must be feedback on my end. So,
How
Rick,
do I sound?
you sound pretty good. I don't know where that feedback coming at. I do not know. But that's okay. We're going to go on without it.
Okay.
My wife told me to check my phone. All right. So, get this thing down, son. So, Rick, we was talking about basically, I wrapped in butcher's paper instead of aluminum foil. I put the extra virgin olive oil down. And man, it kind of turned out good. I will always tell people I'm aluminum foil man. But now I got to lean towards that. I got to lean towards that doggone. I got to lean towards that doggone butcher's paper after the yellow. The butcher paper made a difference. So what you said?
With the texture of your brisket?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what? I've never used butcher paper. I've been curious. You know, I've seen a lot of people that did use the butcher paper, but once my bark is set and I can scratch it and it don't come off, then I just go ahead and wrap it in aluminum foil. I haven't had any problem. But I'm tempted to use butcher paper because a lot of people say you get a better bark with that.
You do. Actually, it's not even bark with me that I'm going towards butcher's paper. It was the internal texture of the brisket. The brisket stayed together a lot better. I mean, it had a little bounce to it, had a little bounce to the ounce, but it kind of held its integrity a lot better.
So you're saying it won't be crumbly?
Well, the crumb got a lot to do with the trim. But I think like for just in the middle when you get the slices, the point and the flat, the brisket had a lot better integrity for just it had a real nice soft chew to it, but it wasn't super tender. If that makes sense.
I feel you on that.
So the brisket, I think butcher's paper had something to do with the whole entire texture. Now don't get me wrong, aluminum foil I think it's still the moist. You get better moisture. You get a more moist brisket with aluminum foil. But I think when the sun and the stars line up, you get a better quality with butcher's paper. It just to me, I think I just hit the nail on the head yesterday. And that's the thing about barbecue is trying to hit the nail on the head every single time. That's the hardest thing about barbecue, right, Rick?
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah.
Okay, so Rick, can you tell me about when you had to cook? I seen one time you had to cook like you had to do like how many slabs of ribs you did like this big me.
Oh,
So what whole cook, Rick?
I did like 60 slabs of ribs, 60 slabs of baby backs.
Okay.
And
Walk us through the whole cook, Rick.
Say what, brother?
Walk us through the whole cook.
Well, I got a catering event for it, which was famous for a company that I used to work for. And one of my buddies that still work for, he reached out. Now he said they wanted to do something different for their Christmas party that year. And he asked me, if I could cater for 150 people. And I was like, that's not a problem catering for 150 people. So we went back and forth together, and we got the numbers right, something that was that would work out for both of us. And I found out, what they wanted for the cook, and it was real simple. Basically, just wanted for that cook. I think 250 pieces of chicken. I did 60 slabs of ribs. I did baked beans, potato salad, coleslaw, Caesar salad. And I had my Blackstone griddle out there, and then one of my helpers, I had them cooking hamburgers, fresh on site as the people came up and got them. It was a real good cook, but at that point in time, even now, I have a lot of smokers, but I don't have a big smoker because I can handle pretty much any cook, but I will have to split my between smokers. And like I know, each smoker going to cook different. And then in the game of barbecue, any food game, it's all about consistency. So I reached out to one of my other buddies out here, and he had one of those Traeger commercial lift, the roll door trailer. And I asked him, what would he charge me to use that? So I got that trailer from him, and I went out there. I pre-seasoned the ribs, had them wrapped up. I think we started out probably like about 4 o'clock in the morning. And I threw those bad boys on there. And man, everybody was pleased. It came out great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's I believe it's my computer, Rick. I don't know what's going on.
You sound perfect on my side.
Okay. I can hear
you think I may need to use headphones?
No, it's me. I think it's me. You put your headphones in for a second.
Let me try that. Say something.
What up?
Okay, hold up.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You got the headphones in?
Yeah, I got the headphones in.
Can you hear me now?
I can still hear you, yeah. But it's coming through my phone, not my headphones, for some reason.
Hang on for a second, Rick. Can you hear me now? I sound good, don't I?
Yeah, you sound great.
Yeah, but you gotta put your headphones in, Rick. It's like
Let me try to use these headphones because I got my son.
Okay, guys. So if it sounds like I sound better now, I don't hear that back noise. So I believe Rick is gonna go ahead and put headphones in. Okay, let's see what Rick is working with.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
okay.
I can.
A lot better?
Rick is gone.
Outstanding. Won't he do it?
So that's good. Okay. So we back at it. All right. Hey guys, if y'all want to jump in and ask me and Rick some questions, I'm gonna put the live chat right here. I'll put the live chat right there, Rick. So if they want to jump in, they can jump in and ask us questions. What's up, my boy Matt Wood? And ask us any questions you want to ask me or Rick. We got a lot of barbecue experience. So, all right. So when you was doing that cook, Rick, what do you think the most difficult thing you had to cook doing out of sides, ribs, chicken? What was the most difficult you had to cook?
Well, I wouldn't really say it was difficult, but the most challenging thing for me was for at that point in time was the chicken, because we cooked the ribs, like I said. We went on like at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then that commercial Traeger did the damn thing. So since we was cooking baby backs, which cook a little quicker than spares, I think I was probably pulling my ribs off at about 10 or 11. And what I did is I took them and I lined my cooler with aluminum foil, and I stacked them in the cooler and kept them warm until it was time for dinner service. But what made the chicken cook difficult was because at that point in time I didn't have my thermal pen. I had some more instant read thermometers, but they weren't really instant read. It would take about maybe 5 seconds or 8 seconds for you to get a temperature. And you can't play around with chicken. I'm not gonna sell nobody any raw chicken. So me and my one of my other helpers that I had, we had two of my pens, and we was testing the internal temp, but it was taking a while to probe 250 pieces of chicken. So that was, I would say, would be the only difficult part. The prep was pretty easy because I prepped all my ribs, and I prepped my chicken before. I just had them in coolers ready to go out there. But the hardest part that I found was actually tipping with those thermometers that I had. I got me a Thermal Pro now, so I'm good to go.
All right. So what would be the temperatures, Rick? They're asking in the chat.
The temperatures for what? Chicken?
Yeah.
I cook my chickens to 170. 165, they said it's good. It's good to serve, but I'd rather be for sure than sell somebody some undercooked chicken. And if you're cooking dark meat tends to lend itself, a little more. It's more forgiving than white meat. So, and I was just cooking thighs and legs, but I brought them up to at least 170.
All right. To me personally, if you're doing chicken quarters, I think 170 to 175 is sweet spot, because then that's when you get that bone falling out of that chicken. To me, you get the skin. You go to 165, but being realistic, the skin is not going to be rendered the way you want it, the way I prefer it. I prefer a real nice rendered piece of chicken. I don't want no rubber skin or none of that kind of stuff. So to me, you have to go past that 165 to get the flavor you want out of your chicken quarters. Correct, Rick?
Yeah, you also got to cook that chicken at a higher tip. You know what I'm saying? Because you can smoke chicken at 225 or 250, but I guarantee that skin is going to be rubbery. If you want to get over that rubbery skin, you got to cook it at excess of 275. That's what I found. Mm-hmm. I like to cook my chicken at least above 275, 300 if I can get it.
Okay. So, Walter, how would your leg quarters turn out yesterday? We had a guy in the chat say he cooked some leg quarters yesterday. I asked him how his leg quarters turned out. To me, I like leg quarters, but they got to be done right. They got to be, like you said, that 275, 300 degrees. If you get around 330, that'll be even better. You know what I'm saying? And I like that. I like that golden brown, that crispy skin, and it keeps moist. Now, Rick, you brine all your chicken, correct?
every piece of poultry I can get my hands on. As a matter of fact, I'm cooking my wife something for her meal prep next week. To later on today, I'm gonna be cooking some thighs and some legs for her. And I got them sitting in the brine right now.
All right. That Brian a bad mamma jamma.
It takes it to a whole different level because nobody likes to bite chicken and just get the flavor that's on the outside, and then the next time you bite it, you don't have any flavor. You can season it out. You can season the outside of that chicken, and that fresh bite is going to be amazing. But after that, you know what I'm saying? It's not flavorful. And if you hit it with that brine, what I found, if you hit it with that brine, it's flavorful all the way through.
Amen. I appreciate it. Hey, thank you. He said he followed that video. Okay, thank you. My boy Uncle Steve sent me a big package of that Texas that best in Texas that now competition brisket blend. Let me tell y'all guys, if y'all want some good rubs, Uncle Steve Shake Rick, he got that good brisket rub. I told you about that, didn't I, Rick? Yeah,
you told me about it.
Uncle Steve,
I'm going to get me some from Uncle Steve's. See what he talking about.
Hey, I'm tell you something, man. Look, man, if you in the beef, in there, Uncle Steve Shake, he do what he do. Now, Rick, I want to introduce you to AP. What up, AP, man? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, T? Rick, what's going on, brother?
How you doing, brother?
What's going on? I actually just used some of that Uncle Steve's on a brisket I did last week.
Oh, how was it?
I actually called Uncle Steve for some help because I finished the brisket at 6:30 in the morning, and what happened was I went out in the middle of the storm because I got tired of when we did the last chat. You know, everybody, I forgot our boy, but he was like, yo, you got to go get a real smoker. Like the Traeger is good, but you want real smoke. So I went and I bought the Smoky Mountain and I tried to put it together. And it was a little difficult. And I did it in butcher paper. And I used Uncle Steve's and I used the brisket magic from the Chupacabra. And I did a nice blend of those two. And what happened was the charcoals ran out because I guess it was so cold. It started to kill the heat. So I had the oven already going just in case that was gonna happen. Yeah, I had the oven already going. I had so much problems with that Traeger, man, in the cold. Oh my God. So I've learned that you gotta have that backup, the oven going when you're cooking in those real cold temperatures. So
Plan B.
Yeah, Plan B. So but what happened? The bark was amazing. I mean, she came out like perfect. The problem was it was done at 6:30 in the morning. So then I was like looking up so much information, trying to see how long I could leave her in the cooler. So I took like a bed sheet and kind of wrapped her, and not tight, but then put her in the cooler to hold the moisture. And it said it should hold between 6 to 7 hours. So then I call Uncle Steve, like, how do I reheat it? Or how do I get the temp back to that thing? He was like, yo, you're going to have to wrap her in aluminum and put her back in the oven. So I didn't really have all that time when I got over to the party. And what I did was I put some butter on top of her, little spicks of butter, and then cut the oven on. I believe it was like 220 or something like that. I let her, and I tell you, one side was juicy and soft and amazing, and then the other side was like, I guess I probed the wrong side and I overcooked it just a little bit. So I had half the cook was amazing, and then the other half of the side was tough.
Was it tough?
Yeah, one side was like jelly, and then one side was
so that was jelly had to be that point.
Yes, it was the point.
See, this is way, hey guys. So what I'm gonna do? See what it is. Rick probably can tell me. Rick cooks a lot of brisket too.
Okay.
That flat still be tough, and that point will be jelly, all juicy and tender, and that flat, it's not done. It wasn't that it wasn't overcooked; it just wasn't done, right, Rick?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So basically, when I do my brisket, and I see Rick do that too, I probe in the middle, I probe where that flat at, all the muscles. Right.
Oh, so she was just not cooked on that side.
Yeah, she just wasn't cooked. Yeah, that's what it was. She wasn't done.
AP, you talk about it wasn't cooked from right to left or from top to bottom?
From right to left.
Oh, right to left? Yeah.
Yeah, one side was jelly, the point was jelly, and then the thicker part was tough. I mean, they still loved it. They still all ate it. They were like, "You're bugging," and I'm like, "Nah, you guys are bugging. This is tough." Like,
your own worst critic.
Yeah, like one was like it flat, like they were touching on the bottom, like like both points of the meat was real soft, and then the other one you couldn't even do that with. It would have just been like stale. So definitely, I didn't get to cook her like T said, I guess.
One thing that now, what did you say you cooked it on the WSM?
Yeah, the Weber Smoky Mountain.
Well, all your heat sources are going to be coming from the bottom. I ran a problem with my Traeger tailgater that I use sometime when I cook brisket. Because the grill capacity of that Traeger tailgater is so small, I still can cook a 19-pound brisket on it. But and this all goes back to the more you cook on that Weber Smoky Mountain, the more you get to know your smoker and how it reacts and how it cooks. I know if I keep a brisket, which I like to cook fat side down because I always like to protect my meat at the end of the day. But I've noticed that if I keep my brisket orientated on one side for the whole cook, the bottom half of my brisket will be kind of overcooked. So halfway through the cook, I go out and I'll flip it over. Mm-hmm. And I try to keep my point towards the fire pot if I'm cooking with that right there. But with the Weber Smoky Mountain, did you have your coals to the outside, or you did like the minion method type deal straight in the middle?
I just loaded it up because it was actually in the middle of the storm. So it was like snowing coming down, like, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to just fill it as much as possible. But what I've learned with what I experienced with this grill is that I did a pulled pork 2 weeks ago and I did on the bottom, and she finished a lot faster than and I've been reading, it says that the temperature at the top, because the heat rises, it's supposed to be hotter at the top, but not with the cold. It seems like, either the air is getting out more at the top, but the heat seems like it's better in the middle when it's cold. So next time I would do the brisket in the middle versus on the top.
See what it is? It's the radiant temperature. That's what's cooking your pork butt a lot faster on the bottom. It's just the radiant temperature. It's closer to the heat source, but in all actuality, heat is hotter up top, but you get a different kind of heat. You're not getting the radiant heat. You're getting heat off.
You're getting fire, basically.
Yes, but right there, you're getting that radiant hot heat.
Yeah.
Fire. You're getting that fire heat.
Yeah.
But guys, this is what I'm gonna do. Look, man. First of all, if you want some good barbecue sauce right there, that's
the best in the world.
The meat sauce right there. Hey, man, look, I'm gonna tell a story. I had my boy Zeke the Freak come up here, okay? And Zeke owns a barbecue place and stuff. And I gave Zeke some barbecue, and I put on them neck bones. And he got them neck bones. He put some of that meat stall hot on the neck bones. And he went to eating. You know what this man gonna tell me? Turn his tongue on hard. I told him to stop that. Turn his tongue on hard. Hey, come on hard, get you some meat stall. And then I got an announcement to make. I'm gonna be using Uncle Steve's shake strictly for brisket, baby. Strictly for brisket. That man. Hey, I found the rub I'm using for my brisket. Barbecue is all about consistency. Everybody know that.
Yeah.
You know, number one, you know what I'm saying? You gotta stick with what works for you. Like, yeah. Now, his other rubs are good, but I like the brisket one. I love the brisket one. You may have to order you a little package to see what you like, but me personally, I like the Uncle Steve competition cow powder.
Yes.
Hey. It's a bad man.
I did that on the pulled pork 2 weeks ago. I made a
cow powder.
Oh man, that thing was I had people come into my house like 3-4 times. Like, yo, can I get another sandwich, please, bro? Like it was amazing. It was amazing.
Hey, I'm telling you, man. Hey, but you get you some of that meat frosting, hot. Now the mild. My wife advocate. That's my wife's favorite barbecue sauce. She like the mild. I'm advocate for the hot. And Rick, no, he better not be sending me a whole bunch of mild barbecue sauce. You better put me some hot in that thing. Put some respect on my name, Rick, when you send it out there. Cause you know, my kids, my kids love the hot. We eat that stuff on everything. Mm-hmm. So I'm telling you guys. I got a bunch of companies send me a lot of stuff. And this way it sits. Because I get it and I try. And if it ain't good, I ain't no prostitute. You know what I'm saying? Because all I got is my word. These two men right here, the meat stall and Uncle Steve Shake, man, the best thing going in the market, man. I'm just saying. Hey, I'm telling you.
Appreciate you, bro.
Nah, listen. When do you do Rick? Do you do big sizes like if people need gallons of it and stuff like that?
It's funny you asked that. Me and my wife we just was talking about that last night. I just got in some containers for some half gallons, and the reason why I chose to go with half gallons rather than gallons is because half gallons is easy to store in your refrigerator or whatever. You know, so you don't want a whole big gallon of barbecue sauce. But so here shortly on my website, www.meatstallbarbecue.com. Y'all like that plug? We're gonna have half gallons coming soon.
Yeah, because I'm trying to. That's another question I wanted to ask you, because this is like my first summer where I'm planning on really taking on the barbecue world. And like, what are some of the things that you should stock up on that might be non-existent over the summer or hard to get?
Well, first thing I would stock up on, to be honest with you, you'll be rolling with the WSM, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the first thing I would do is get you some sand and put in your WSM and then put a aluminum foil over your drip bowl. And that will help out with your temperature control too.
Also, sand goes over that aluminum.
No. Put sand inside of the
water bowl.
The drip bowl.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of sand. Then put aluminum foil over that sand.
Okay.
And then you just put like 3 layers. Cause then all you gotta do is just change out your aluminum foil. You got to, cause the drip tray, it's a beast to clean. I love my WSM, but that drip bowl is one reason why I prefer not to use it sometimes.
Yeah.
Me personally, if I was you, I would stick with one charcoal. See, people don't understand the difference in this kind of stuff. I'll stick with one charcoal, and I would stick with one kind of flavor of wood, because, like I say, barbecue is, to me personally, barbecue is all about consistency. And one brand of ribs. All ribs ain't different. Some people like their ribs come from Smithfield. Some people like the Tyson's rib. Some people like the Seaborn ribs. Try to get a meat supply that can supply the same quality of meat, the same quality of if you use a sauce like my boy Rick. You can't get nobody meat frosting and then turn around and give them Sweet Baby Ray's. You're gonna get cussed out like that.
Nah.
You might get cut.
You may get cut, you know what I'm saying? If you stick with Uncle Steve's shake rub, stick with something that made you where you come from. There's nothing wrong with trying shit, but you try it on your palate.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go over there and try to sell somebody this and then try to switch it up on somebody. Hey, what is it? This one meat frosted before I buy it. Okay. They want to see the ingredient list before meat frosted before they buy it.
That's fine. Tell me, hit me up.
Hit him up. I put his website down there in the chat, so he got all his contact information. So hit him up. But that's what I would do. I would try to get a set things of where I go and get food from, where I get my barbecue sauce from, where I get my shakes from. I wouldn't be going all over the place to get different things, because you will get a different taste.
All the time, yeah.
All the time. Because if you cook a Seaborn rib and then you go get one of them Smithfields, right, Rick?
Yeah, that's North Carolina right there all day.
Extra tender. You get one of them Seaborn, you get one of those Smithfield. Seaborn, they don't brine their ribs. They don't have that pre-brine on their ribs. So you will have a smoke ring when you use those extra meaty ribs about that thick. And then use the other ribs, they're gonna be like a little thin little smoke ring. I don't care how much you smoke it, you just ain't gonna get that same smoke way because they're not pre-brine.
Mm-hmm.
And the texture's gonna be different. One gonna taste a little like ham, which leans itself towards more savory rubs and more balance. And if you put Sweet Baby Ray's on, if you add Sweet Baby Ray's to that Smithfield rib, it's gonna taste like Christmas ham on a stick, because it's gonna be too sweet. Because think about this now, you got a pre-brine product, and it's gonna get that real hammy taste. You know what I'm talking about, don't you, Rick?
Mm-hmm.
You ribs that get that real hammy taste to it, and if you put like a real sweet sauce on it, it tastes kind of hammy, kind of. So you gotta understand that. If you go towards that taste, you got to stay in that lane. It's always good to stay in the middle lane. You alter your flavor, but you don't want to alter. You don't want to have flavors that's already altered coming into the cook. That's what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. Is that explaining that, Rick, right?
Yeah, I agree.
It's consistency.
Hey, Pete, where you from, bro?
I'm from East New York, from Brooklyn.
Okay. So when the question that you asked, if it's some of the stuff that's kind of hard to get, you talking about like in the winter months or something like that?
I mean, like more in the summer months, like where I'm at, I still haven't even found a place where they produce like any real good wood. You know, everything is pretty generic. You know, and I see like I've been watching some stuff online, and I see people in the middle of the country, they have access to all types of woods and, you know, orchards that kind of leave it out and stuff like that. Where I'm at is, I think it's just pretty much like pine oak or something like that. But I like flavors like that, or even like there's no barbecue stores. Everything is just like Home Depot and Lowe's.
Yeah, I figure so. You can get like wood chunks though, right?
Or, yeah, they sell like little bags of like Weber and all of that stuff.
Yeah, because a lot of time, well, actually all the time on my Weber Smoky Mountain, I use those wood chunks. You know, you gotta get different flavors: apple, mesquite, hickory, whatever. Those work pretty good. Now, are you looking for like splits or?
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I was. I was trying to get like like fresh done wood, you know?
No,
Like,
you don't want that.
no?
No, you don't want for a fresh done wood because those woods got to sit out at least for a year to a year and a half.
Oh yeah, okay.
They got to be what we call is I call them seasoned. They got to get seasoned, right, Rick? That's the word I'm looking for, Rick.
Yeah.
So if that wood ain't seasoned, soon you throw it in that fire, you might well get ready to throw the meat in the garbage because it's gonna taste bitter.
Oh, okay.
Because all that sap and all that water is gonna turn the smoke white, and the smoke gonna get white, and it's gonna just get right on your meat, and you're gonna get that real. It's not even gonna be sooty. It's gonna be more like somebody got dish detergent and put all over your meat. It's gonna turn strictly bitter.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah.
If you can't, well, we got to remember the internet is a beast. No, but no, whatever. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You might have to jump through a couple more hoops or whatever to get the products that you want. You know, because you know what I'm saying. New York is not really considered like a barbecue mecca. You know what I'm saying.
No.
You know what I'm saying. But so any products that you want, you got to you may have to bring them in because it's a product that I use is from North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? And I always got to bring it in because I can't get it here. It's only sold in North Carolina, so that's where I got to get it from.
Yeah, it's being impatient. You know, it's like I see videos and I'm like, oh no, I want to do this right now.
Yeah.
It's depressing.
Well, right now, y'all take a screenshot of that. Go get some of the meat stall, man. Go get you. How you say it, Rick? Get you some, find you some meat and what, Rick?
Sauce it.
Find you some meat and sauce it. And Rick, tell him about your rub, though, Rick. Now, Rick got a pork rub out there. Talk a little bit about your rub, Rick.
It's called Meat Sprinkles. It's also on the website. And I don't like a salty rub because it's easy to oversalt your food. All my proteins, I like to pre-salt them either with a wet brine or a dry brine. So I really taper back on the salt for the rubs. But I have other. Well, I ain't gonna tell you what I got in my stuff, but I got other ingredients and flavors that's inside that lends itself well as far as you getting your color on your food because you eat with your eyes first. You know what I'm saying? If it looks pleasing, the chances are it is pleasing. Not in all cases, but most of the time. But the main thing about my rub is I try to go. It does have salt in it, but it doesn't have a high salt content. And it lends itself, I say personally, for pork. It's great on pork. I've used it on chicken as well. I do have some sugars in it. So as with any rubs with sugars in it, you got to be mindful because a lot of times that sugar will burn if you cook it at a too high of a temp. So it does have sugars in it, but this rub is really catered for that low and that slow cook. It's amazing.
I gotta try that. I gotta order that and some of that barbecue sauce. I need that half gallon. That's what I went to the website and I was like, yeah, I want to order it. I was gonna email you and let you know if I can get sizes because I know I'm gonna love it. Especially everything I've tried that T tells me to try. I mean, it's like it's gonna work. It's definitely gonna work.
I was talking to one of my buddies the other day, and you know, with any product, everybody is not going to like it. And I'm not just saying this because this is my sauce and I make it or whatever. But I guarantee you, if I put this sauce in front of 10 people, 8 to 9 people is going to like it. I guarantee it. What it say? Or your money back.
Hey, you know, one thing too, you know, and I guess that's why I like that. That's why I like that Uncle Steve's brisket rub too, is because of the texture and the way it creates that bark. It's a bark maker. Won't he do it? It's a bark maker. Won't he do it? It's a mark makeup.
So it has a lot of coarse ingredients in it, huh? It's coarse ground ingredients.
Oh, Uncle Steve Mark, yeah, Uncle Steve Shake, yes.
I'm gonna order some of that. I haven't got it, but I'm gonna order some.
And it's like yours, I would assume, because it's not too salty.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not too salty at all. It's not too salty at all. And the thing about it though, you can really taste after 12, 13 hours of cook. Sometimes you can't taste rubs. But one thing about Uncle Steve in your rub, you can taste it after it. It got an identifying flavor to it. Does that make sense? Because you can cook a lot of rubs, and after 14 hours of cooking it, it doesn't have identifying taste to it. All the flavor that cooked out of it. But Rick and Uncle Steve rub, you can still have that same taste. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And the thing too about rubs is that, so there's a lot of good rubs on the market. And although I would love for everybody to order meat sprinkles from the meat stall, you can also go in and experiment with your own rubs, with different spices. I'm coming out with an ebook that I'm gonna have on the website. I'm gonna have a few recipes and some tips. And one of the tips that I'm coming out with is that it's not really showing you a rub to make, but it's more so of leading you into the way that you can get your own rub for your palate, for your people, or what have you. And it'll be coming out pretty soon. I think probably like within the next month, I should have it complete.
That's
okay.
dope.
So right here, we're talking about using different things to have rub stick on having binders. So we got a question about binders and letting that rub stick to our protein we're using. So basically, you can use oils. Me personally, if I use a binder, I like to use an oil and I like using mustard. Sometimes I like using Worcestershire sauce. To me, it's all about what do you have there. Now in chicken, there's only one binder to use. That's oil. Don't be putting mustard on your chicken, guys. Just use any type of oil, vegetable oil, canola oil, extra virgin olive oil, but do not use mustard. But other than that, everything goes on ribs. Anything goes on beef. Yeah.
I have a question, right? I was watching. It's good that you brought that up. I was watching Smokey Joe, then I was watching some of your videos, and I think it was kind of around the same time, and he was pretty much saying like how unnecessary binders are, and how he's tried it both ways, and it always comes out. It's the same whether you don't need a binder. It's actually like, but I preferably have tried it without, and then a few weeks ago, and then tried it with, and I love using it. I think it does something to the bark.
Okay, it depends. To me, it depends on the season I'm using. If I'm using a coarse grind seasoning, me personally, I think that it needs a binder. If I'm using Uncle Steve shake, it needs a binder. If I'm using Rick shake, his pork shake, it necessarily don't need a binder. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because it's thin enough.
It's thin enough. Rick's own is more towards ribs, competition, really. Rick got some great competition ribs because you will see people do competition ribs. They'll get a spice grinder and they'll grind these spices down to the powder form. Rick's only that powder form, but that's what they use. And they put that on their ribs when it's done and afterwards, okay? Mm-hmm. But when you're doing those big cuts like brisket and things and beef shoulder clod, to me, you need something to keep that heavy, coarse grind on your meat because it's just gravity itself. That's just me thinking, because I done turned meat over and all the season roll off of it. Then you got to re-season again. But you put that mustard slaver or that something on there, you can turn that thing up and it's still on there. It may be a little, but you put your hands on, but it still stays. To me, it does. So it don't impart flavor, but it does help your meat, your seasoning to stay on your meat. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
You know,
now
go ahead.
The reheating process when you do those big cooks and you're doing them for like 200 people and you can't necessarily do all of the cook the day of, and when you're doing so much meat, like how do you store all of that? How does that work?
I don't let it get cold.
Oh, you don't?
No.
You got proofers. You got cool. Okay. If you
don't have any proofers or
Cambros. If you get you 3 briskets, okay, 4 briskets, and you buy one of the cheap dollar store coolers, you know the ones I'm talking about, the ones for $27, $30, the green ones and the cheap ones. Or if you get a big, nice Yeti cooler, whatever, and you put those briskets in there and lock them down and don't open them, or ribs. If you cook, like Rick said, aluminum foil line your cooler up, you put you 10 slabs, 15 slabs of ribs in that cooler, lock it down, 5, 6, 7 hours. You can't even put your hands in it to grab the meat. It's that hot. Oh, yes.
Yeah, when I cooked those ribs that time, like I said, they came off probably about like 10 or 11 in the morning. And by the time we finished dinner service, I still had some ribs left, and I just was giving to the people. And that was probably like at 5:30, maybe 6 o'clock. When I opened it, and mind you, I'm opening it up, the cooler, taking slabs out and cutting them fresh. But I probably had about maybe 15 slabs left, and those slabs still was piping hot. And I took them off the smoker at 10 o'clock. So in the oven is a good way to do it. But if you don't have an oven, Cambros are a great way to keep your food hot or keep your food cool. And if you can't get a hold of Cambros, like T said, a cooler is a great way to do it. You can put a little bit of ice in your bottom of your cooler, put a little bit of salt on it to make the ice even more colder. It'll keep all your cool stuff cool. And then for your hot stuff, I know some people even take they will get like a hot towel, wring it out, put it in the bottom, and then put their food in while it's hot. They say that helps it do more. I haven't tried that. But Cambros or cooler is a great way to do it. It's a great way to do it if you want to keep your food warm. Also, if you have something like a propane grill, because I got a grill that's a stand-up master-built propane grill. Now, if you're taking that and you worried about your product, you can keep your product in there and keep it on super low. I say probably about 175, which basically what you're doing is making your own proofer right there on the spot if you don't have one to keep your food warm.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And one thing that I do, I limit myself. So, say for instance, if somebody wants chicken, like bone-in chicken, I'm not gonna cook that a day before.
Okay.
I'm cooking my pulled pork, my briskets, my beef shoulder clod. I'm cooking all that. But if I'm cooking ribs, if I'm cooking chicken, that's on spot. So I'll be done 2 hours within serving time. You understand where I'm coming from? But if I'm, like I had chicken to cook for Saturday. I didn't cook that chicken until 4 o'clock that morning because I wanted to pull it, but I know how chicken is. I want to make sure when that chicken's cool enough to pull that it cools down. Yeah, so it's all about timing. It's all about timing. And I can sit and talk to you about it, but the only way you get that timing down is doing it yourself.
Practice, yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's it. You know, timing is one of the key things when it comes to barbecue. Timing. What's up?
I said in preparation.
Yes, preparate. Hey, the more you preparate, the better the event goes.
Yeah,
But
you know,
yes,
I seen your buddy. You did a live with I forgot his name. I looked at his channel, and he does a lot of like he shows you how to reheat the ribs. So he's like, you know, sometimes I just freeze them right after the cook, and then they put them in like a big water, like a pot of water.
mm-hmm.
And I just was looking at stuff like that, and I'm like, can you tell the difference from something that sits frozen already versus something fresh? You know, like I wouldn't try it because I would like to just keep it fresh, you know?
Yeah. Well, let me. Can I say this right here? Okay. You are more obvious. It's more obvious trying to eat pre-boiled pot. I call them pre-boiled ribs. That is more obvious eating that than old barbecue. The worst barbecue is the barbecue that you try to keep in a steam table. I'd rather have frozen barbecue warmed back up than barbecue that is sitting in a steam table and for a day and it has that everything that dried out on it. So you probably can notice somewhat. It just depends on how they warm it up. If they warm that thing up, let it thaw all the way out, and they put it on a flame broiled grill or put it on the Weber to get some char on it, and they put the mop sauce or barbecue sauce on it, you ain't gonna know the difference.
Okay. That's what I think that was.
Let me tell you something, P. Yeah. I don't know if you ever looked into sous vide ribs.
Say that again?
Looked into that? Sous vide.
Sous vide?
Yeah.
No, what is that?
That's basically it's you're cooking them in water, but it's you have your rib that is in a vacuum seal pack.
Yeah.
You put them in the water. It cooks it in the water, and then you can finish it off either with your charbroil or your weed burner, or you can finish it off on the grill. Now, because I've had some people who don't like the smoky taste in meat. They just want a grilled rib, right?
Yeah, that's more like the East Coast people.
Yeah, my mother-in-law doesn't. She likes barbecue, but she doesn't like the wood flavor in the meat because she says every time she burps, it tastes wood, and she don't like that. So what you could do is either you can cook it that was straight charcoal with no wood, you know, that'll give you that. Or what I do is I've sous vide ribs, and I've even had a cook for a lady, and I cooked like 12 or 13 slabs of ribs. I have a big plastic container. So basically what I do is I take the ribs, take them out of the crowd vac pack that they come in, remove the membrane, because I like to remove the membrane. Some people don't. Remove the membrane, season them up, put them in the vacuum sealer.
He likes that membrane on.
No, I'm a membrane off fella.
I know that. I always take it off. I can't. I don't know why.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about that after this. And so what I did is I stacked my ribs in my big plastic cooler. I put my sous vide, which is a immersion cooker, and you cook them at the tip of 175. I like to cook mine probably like 165 for like 12 hours. Okay. Now here's the good thing about sous vide ribs. After those 12 hours, you can let's just say if you're doing something for a cook you got on a Friday, you can cook these ribs like on Tuesday. You cook them Tuesday. Once they're done, now you're going to chill shock them once they've been in at that 165 in the emergency circulator for 12 hours. You take it and you put it in an ice bath and you get it down below that danger zone. And then you can keep those ribs in your refrigerator up to a week. So prior to your guests coming over your event, you take them out. Now they've been in the refrigerator, not the freezer, so they just need to come up to room temp. You undo your bag, clean your ribs off. You may have to re-season them because some of the renderings will take your seasons off. Re-season them, put them on your grill. Now, if you want a little bit of wood flavor, you can put a chunk of wood on your charcoal and it'll give it a wood flavor. But then you can put them on your grill and then you can cook those 13 slabs of ribs if you got a grill big enough in 20 minutes because they're already cooked. But basically, what you want to get that outside texture, that char, that bark, and you want to rest that jaw back on the bone. And once you get that jaw back on the bone, go on with that meat frosting. Another shameless plug. Go on with that meat frosting. Are you ready to go and chop them up? Now, but with that, like I said, it's all about doing your equipment. Because if you overcook them, you know what I'm saying? You can chill shock them when you cook them again. They're gonna be so tender. They're gonna really be falling off the bone, like so almost to the point where you can't even handle. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants that. Yeah,
I get it. So that when you finally put them in the grill, they cook a little bit and then they get perfect, and then now you meat.
You're in business.
Yeah.
Go ahead and sauce them up a little bit. Let that sauce tack up a little bit, and then let them set so they can come. They can tighten up. Bop, bop, bop. And you in business. I got a video. Check out my video. I got a video where I did some sous vide ribs. As a matter of fact, I did a video where I took a pack of ribs out of the freezer. I didn't thaw it. I didn't do nothing. I left it in because here in California we can get the single pack ribs. Normally they come in 2 packs.
Yeah.
But we can get them the single pack ribs. I didn't even take it out of that Cryovac bag. I just was curious if I could do it. I put it in there frozen, cooked it all the way. When it came out, that's when I seasoned it. I seasoned it once it came out because it's going to have like a little gelatin type stuff on it once it's come out. How the old boy say on our sous vide everything? It may not look that good right now, but hold on. You know what I'm saying? So you take that, you cut it, you wipe that stuff off, get it dry. Now I go in with a little bit of oil. Then we talk about binders. I put a little bit of oil, and then I hit it heavy with a rub that doesn't have a lot of salt content. Put it on that grill, and you got something to deal with right there, brother. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Check out my video. I got somewhere I did some sous vide ribs on there.
You said we were gonna go back to that membrane. Let's
go back to that membrane. Hey T, I'm gonna let you kick it off.
Well, let me tell you why I leave my membrane on. To me, okay. First, you got to properly trim your ribs. Okay. My boy Rick introduced me to a style called the Compton style. Okay. My boy
the
Rick,
Compton cut.
The Compton cut. So basically, I use that because I like my rib tips on my ribs, but I don't like that little flappy stuff. So I round my ribs off, then I square them up. But it'd be more like a rounder cut, like a smiley face kind of, a sad face. But I get all that little stuff that's gonna burn off of it, and then I cut the flap. But I leave my membrane on. 2 reasons. First, it keeps longer, okay? The ribs keep longer. They just keep longer. They last a long time. When you got them in a proofer, they're not going to overcook. They're not going to sink down in between the meat and the fingers because the membranes protect them. They give them a little more, it gives a little more hold. The second ball is when I'm cooking, my heat coming up from the bottom, is getting that fat and it's hitting that fat that's under that membrane and it's cooking the fat up in the ribs. You ever had like white stuff on top of your ribs kind of at first? You probably can't see it if you rub real heavy, but if you do just a regular old Dalmatian rub, you can see like little spots coming up. Well, that's sometimes it coming up from that membrane, the fat just cooking up through the meat kind of, okay? And that's what I like. And then I don't get no chewy membrane. I never had anybody tell me then my ribs wouldn't bite through. The textures be on point. I done won numerous rib cook-offs. Never remove the membrane but if you're in a pro, remove them. But if you're a champ, keep them on. Just like that. But I'm just saying, you gotta know what you're doing. You gotta know what you're doing, though. You know what I'm saying? Everything else got to be right. Your fire got to be, your temperature got to be right. Your cook got to go right. Your ribs got to be, when you wrap them, can't wrap them for too long. And that helps out too. If I do decide to wrap my ribs gonna stay together. They can stand up to that wrap a little better than, cause me personally, you do a 3, 2, 1, and you got that membrane off them ribs. You finna have some pulled pork on a stick. You better go 3, 1, 1. But if you mess around and go 3, 2, 1 with that membrane on, you may be okay. You still gonna have problems, but it's a little more forgiving. But if you had that membrane off and go 3, 2, 1, you have pulled pork on a stick. It just, the bone gonna come out. It's gonna be a hot mess. So me personally, I go with membrane on because I think that it helps the integrity of the ribs. It keeps the ribs longer. And like I say, I cook for my competitions like I'm cooking for my people. I cook for my people like I'm cooking for my competition. So I ain't finna try to change something that's been working. That's just my thing. I ain't cutting that membrane, but I'm gonna trim my ribs. Don't get me wrong. You got to trim them. I spend just as much time trimming my ribs than I do taking the membrane off, if that makes sense. So I'm putting all the effort I'm putting all the extra effort into trimming them right. Do that make sense? Because the rest of your ribs better be right if you're gonna take that membrane off. So that's my answer. All right, Rick, what's up?
All right. With that, and that sounds good, so I'll buy that for $1. But but for me,
I love this.
I just found that taking the membrane off it just lends me to a better rib. Because the one thing that I don't like, what I've experienced is when the membrane is on, you get a bite, but then it's not bite through with that membrane. And in order to, and the only way that I found that you can render that membrane is that you got to be cooking your ribs at an excess of 250. If you want to go 225, 250, that membrane is not going to get crispy, because that's the only thing that's going to make that membrane bite through it if you make it crispy. So if you're cooking on an offset, smoker, somewhere you don't have your heat directly below you, my experience is you're going to get that chewy membrane at all times. I try to relieve for not getting that chewy membrane. Now, if I was to, which I may do an experiment and leave the membrane on, but if I do it, I'm going to, I'm going to cook it over direct coals. So I got my heat right on the bottom and it's hitting that membrane and making it crispy. So that's just my take on cooking with the membrane on or off. I just always take it off. But hey, barbecue is open to interpretation. Whatever works for you, And what T spoke on about the 3, 2, 1, if I could highlight on that, is that 3, 2, 1. A lot of people think that's God. That's written rules. That's how it's supposed to be to get a perfect rib. It's not. It's only a guideline. You choose and you look at that 3, 2, 1 as a guideline. 3 hours of smoke, 3 hours of smoke is perfect. If you're cooking probably about 250, whatever, 225. But as T said, when you come to that wrap, now keep that membrane on, may keep those ribs together. I agree with you on that. But when you come to that wrap, you got to be mindful of how long you wrap them. Because if you wrap them too much, you can kill your cook right there at that part of the cook. You can kill it because when you open it up, you can't even pick them up. So I said that to say this. T, you was wrong. And the everybody take your membrane off.
Yeah. T, I have a question. I know both of you guys are familiar with the Traeger. You've used the Traeger before, right?
Oh yeah.
Now, when I first got the Traeger last summer, I was at the beginning, I was doing the ribs just for us, but then the word got out, and I was doing a Melissa Cookston's, the apple juice and her special seasoning, the Memphis rub, more dry, just cooking them on, and they became so popular with the honey and the apple that I had to make more. So now I went and I used the rib rack for the Traeger, and I just noticed that when you lay them down, necessarily they don't burn, or you don't get a lot of like burn. But when you stand them up, you get a lot more heat in the Traeger, where it looks like the rib is like crisping in certain spots a lot more, and it's not as consistent as when you just cook the ribs flat down,
All right, so the Traeger got fan. It has heat duction. So with that saying, it's blowing that heat around. So when you have that, and the ribs are standing up like this in the rib rack, the heat is actually rising to the top. So sometimes the heat is skimming off different parts of your ribs. This is why I don't like rib racks altogether. Me personally, because I don't like, because you don't get the color. Right there where that metal holds the ribs together. Sometimes
you don't
color it. And then sometimes they fall on each other, things like that. I just don't use rib racks. Nothing against the people that do it. I just don't use rib racks. But you will get a better use of your Traeger to use them with the ribs down. Now, if you had like something like me and Rick got like a vertical pit boss grill, right, Rick? You can
Hashtag Pit Boss Nation.
Hashtag Pit Boss Nation.
You guys love that Pit Boss. It's really. I was gonna buy that one the same day I bought the Smoky Mountain, and I didn't because I wasn't sure if I should.
I don't want to talk bad, but so my mama said if you ain't got nothing good to say, shut up.
Pit Boss, when it works, it's a great smoker, but that's the only thing when it works.
I just bought it was back in October. I haven't even used it yet. I bought a Pit Boss 5 series. I bought it from this dude for like $100. I said that's like a $400 smoker, $500 smoker. I said I gotta have that. I convinced my wife to let me get another smoker. So I got it. So I'm in the backyard, and this was my fault. What happened? I didn't really look inside and look and see that it wasn't clean. So I started up, and I wanted to run it up to like 175, 200, 300, and run it back down just to see how it maintains temp. So I'm bringing it up. I get to about like 260 or whatever. Next time I look, I was like, this damn thing is on fire. But what it was a lot of grease that was inside of it, and I didn't clean it. So I took it out. I cleaned everything out. I went to fire it up again, and I got an ERL code. I called Pit Boss, and they said it was my thermostat. So I just talked with T. T sent me a controller, a spare controller that he had. So I'm in the process, probably not this weekend because I got to work today, but definitely next week I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna change the thermostat and I'm gonna change the controller, and then we're gonna fire it up, and what I'm saying, we're gonna see what that Pit Boss do.
Now
I think she'll be all right.
Like I said, she's all right and everything. But guys, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring up this last subject. Then I gotta wrap it up. I gotta go somewhere. I gotta be somewhere, and I know Rick got to work today. But
and I gotta cook.
So my next thing, and I'm just gonna leave it at this, is this right here. Okay, do you trim your pork butts or do you leave them like they come?
I trim them. I do everything you do that you show in the video. So the brisket, I trimmed.
Oh, you doing it wrong then?
No, not the pork butt.
No. Hey, I said if you do everything T do, you doing it wrong.
Remember champions here.
And I was doing the T style, and I just looked at so much that I cut off. I was like dying on the inside, like. So I text T the video, like, yo, bro, did I do all right? Did I kill this? Did I? Because it was just it really get that. Like that shape, on the brisket, I had to really trim, to really get that silver skin and a lot of that excess that's on the side. But it came out amazing, T.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Now, T, I think you asked about pork butt though, right?
Yeah.
Me, we're gonna talk about brisket too, and there's a question also that says, it says, since brisket stopped taking smoke after a certain point, do you continue to cook it with charcoal or do you smoke it with wood the entire time? But let me talk about my pork butts. Basically, I take my pork butt out, I rinse it off, and then if it got like a lot of fat hanging on, I may trim it. But I do minimal trimming on a pork butt. But you got to remember that if you do minimum trimming on the front side, once it's cooked, you got to get that fat up out of there. Now, how to get the fat up out? Because it's going to render a lot. What I do is I got a fat separator. I pour my juice off and I separate my au jus, my pork au jus from my fat. And also a pork butt. What I really hate when I get a pulled pork sandwich, if the pit master didn't take time once it was cooked, you got to go through that pork because it got some interconnected tissue that's not going to break down. I got a sandwich one time, and almost half of my sandwich was that tissue. You know what I'm saying? And it really pissed me off. And it just showed me the laziness of the pit master. Once you break that thing, you got to go through your meat, pull that out, get all the fat that didn't render. You can leave some because nobody wants a mouth of fat. So as far as my brisket, as far as pork butts, I do minimum trimming on the end, on the beginning, but on the end, I separate the fat and then I pull it out. Now, as for brisket, you almost will be sad if you trim brisket and you see how much you pay for that you're throwing away. It's crazy. I wish briskets would come pre-trimmed and they would charge you for that. But I always look for a brisket that doesn't have a big fat decal, that hard fat. I always look for one of those that I don't have to trim off. I also got a video where I did a brisket. I want to say it was a 19-pound brisket. And by the time I trimmed it, and it wasn't an aggressive trim. It wasn't a competition trim. It was a regular trim. By the time I trimmed it, I said, I'm going to weigh the fat. And I think I got 7 pounds of fat from that brisket. And that can be very disheartening when you're looking at, you know what I'm saying, what you paid for than what you actually get. Because brisket is going to yield probably about 50% of its original weight by the time it's cooked. So that's just the fact, what I found.
Yeah, and it's crazy because up here, I went, me and T were talking last time, and he was like, "Hey, how much is the brisket going for per pound?" I didn't really know, I didn't know choice from prime, and now I have a broader sense. So I actually called like Pennsylvania, Connecticut, trying to see if maybe somewhere in the surrounding areas I might be able to get the prime a little cheaper. So maybe I might have to drive a little far out to get it. Because by me, they want $12 a pound for
how much a pound?
Well,
$12 a pound. Oh my goodness! Hey man,
that's a prime. That's a prime.
I found a USDA choice, and I got that one for $4.99. I got lucky.
Hey, Rick,
that's still higher than anything I pay.
We need to traffic some brisket up to New York. Traffic.
Bro, they want $12 a pound for brisket up here.
Hey, have you ever been to that one place called Hometown Barbecue in Brooklyn?
Hometown Barbecue, no. I haven't, but I heard about it. It's funny, last week somebody told me about it. They have
It's a nut. Yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead, go brother.
No, tell me.
I seen it on television, on a couple shows, Hometown Barbecue, and I also seen another place, I think it's in Brooklyn. This guy, he does North Carolina whole hog. It's called the Arrogant Swine. So check those out, man. You know what I'm saying? If I'm ever in New York, I'm definitely going to check them out.
Yeah. There's also some spots I've been hearing in Williamsburg that's become real popular, that they're doing it out of the trucks. But I'm in the middle of moving. So in the next 2 weeks, that's what I want to do. I want to go around the truck, see what they're making, how good it is, so I can start trying to gauge what to do over the summer for like a catering style.
One thing you're gonna find out, and T, I know you can attest to this. The more you make barbecue, the more you learn, the more you get to love and fall in love with barbecue. It's gonna be hard to find good barbecue when you go out and try to buy it.
Yeah.
Because now you know what barbecue's supposed to taste like. You know what it's supposed to be. So it's gonna be hard.
So let me answer this lady question. So for me personally, if I'm cooking on whatever I'm cooking on, I kind of stay with the same source, so to speak, because to me, charcoal is more expensive than wood in my area. So I'd rather continue burning wood, even though I got the brisket wrapped in butcher's paper, aluminum foil. I continue burning wood because I got a bigger smoker. So I will go with the less of the choice of source. So is charcoal more reasonable in your area? I would go with charcoal. But if you got a bountiful wood supply, I would continue burning my wood, even though your brisket is wrapped. Do that make sense, guys? So it's basically like, for instance, with me, I got boohoo wood. I just make a call and I got a truckload of wood to my house the next day. So I'm gonna continue burning wood. But if I didn't have a lot of wood, I would just burn charcoal after I wrap my brisket. So it's whatever that's more affordable for you to push that brisket past cause at that time, to me, BTUs are BTUs. Hell, you can even put it in your oven to finish that brisket off. Right, guys?
So that's what I was going to say. Exactly what I was going to say.
You can put it in your oven because BTUs are BTUs. So when you go into finishing stuff, that's what I would do. I would use whatever's cheapest. If you have an electric smoker like a Master Build or anything like that, wrap that thing, put it right in that Master Build and let it go to the desired temperature, then start probing it. Always have like a temperature, say, okay, I want my alarm set at 200 degrees. That doesn't mean that brisket's done. That just means that's when I'm going to start probing the brisket. So, always have a set temperature or set time that you think that, and that's how you learn how to get better at recognizing your cooks. So if I know at 200 degrees, my brisket going to be 210, 205, 206, sometimes 202, I know that after 4 hours, my brisket is 165 and it should have a bark set. But you only know that by knowing your smoker, knowing your cook, doing all that kind of doing it. That's the only way you're going to learn that. So, but about trimming pork butts, guys. So I do minimum trimming, but it depends on the pork butt I get, to be honest with you. Like Rick said, if I get a big, thick pork butt with a big fat cap this big, I'm about to cut that fat cap down. But if I'm cooking on a pellet grill, I'm putting that fat cap right on that pellet grill, okay? Fat cap down. And when I pick it up, that fat cap has rendered. You ever pick something off that grill that you do fat side down? It look almost like cracklings on the bottom with the fat that melted to the doggone. If you could peel that up, that's when you have that rendering of fat. So that's why I can't tell people fat side up, fat side down. I always tell people, and I heard Rick say this on this video, it depends on the heat source, right, Rick?
Yeah.
So you know, but heat source coming from the side, fat side up. Coming from this side, fat side up. It's coming from the bottom, fat side up. But if it's coming from if it's coming from the top, excuse me. If it's coming from the bottom, fat side down, baby. So the same thing with trim, meat. You know, but you got to trim that brisket aerodynamic. If you want a good brisket, I'm just saying you got to. There's no other ways around it. If you don't trim your brisket right, man, even when you cutting your brisket, I used to always get mad when I cut my brisket. I had to cut it in different cuts to kind of make sure it stays together. But that's because I'm trying to cook something this skinny and that fat. You get where I'm coming from?
You might as well cut it off.
You might as well cut off and make sausages because it gonna create that pool, and next thing you know, you got a pool of bark here, then it gonna be burned here. You know how it looks, man. But if you just cut that off and round it off right and get that aerodynamic feel around it, the smoke gonna flow over it, and then it gonna render right, it gonna look decent. And then when you go to slicing, like yesterday, I sliced those 5 briskets up for service yesterday. It was so much easier. All I had to do is slice. I didn't have to cut this off, cut that off. It was so much easier.
T.
Yeah.
Rick, I talking about cutting. Wife is about to cut me if I don't get out of here. So see you guys later. Thanks.
All right. Love you, bro.
Yeah, love you, bro. Let me know too about the next cook that you got coming up, so I could set up a time to shoot down there.
Okay, then, most definitely, man. I love that, bro. We can shoot down there for sure. AP gonna come down here and visit me. AP gonna come here and cook with the champ.
Yeah, I gotta learn, man. Listen,
Mr. Pink Salt himself.
AKA Tender Quick Rick.
Tender Quick Rick.
Oh, that's where you got the Tender Quick from? It was for Rick.
That's my name, Tender Quick Rick.
He said about the caseloads.
Oh man!
You guys have a good day.
They got the little.
You too, brother.
They're gonna have Rick face on there with the beard, with a suitcase of Tender Quick.
Hey,
I'll see you, brother.
All right. Hey, with a little Tender Quick dropping out the bottom of the suitcase.
Tulsa, get my hustle. Get my smoke rig on.
Hey, but I am going to try that video you did, though. The one with the Tender Quick on the master build. I'm going to try that.
Oh, man, you got to, Rick. You got to, guys. And when we talk about Tender Quick, we try making those smoke rings on them electric smokers, guys. We can do smoke rings on electric smoker, man, and it's not hard. I'll just add a little bit of Tender Quick to your brisket. Not a lot, just a little bit, and washing it off, or pink salt, and washing it off after about an hour, and you get a real nice smoke ring, guys, on a electric smoker. So don't let the electric smoker push you away, cause we go from you.
The electric smoker put out a damn good product too.
It do.
I still love my Masterbuilt.
Hashtag Masterbuilt.
Hashtag Masterbuilt.
I just wish Masterbuilt me personally, I just wish they had better customer service, because that last smoker I brought, I really wanted it. I really wanted it to work, but I brought 2 of them, and the charcoal smoker, I brought 2 of them.
That's the gravity fed one?
No, the vertical smoker I had, the 40-inch. The one
I saw a picture of that.
It worked one time. Yeah, so
wow.
Yeah, I'm feeling some type of way.
Yeah.
Well, all right, guys. Rick, boy, I love you, man. You be safe.
I love you too, bro.
But while we on, I'm gonna post your right here, guys. Look, right here. I'm gonna post the website right here. The website posted right there in the chat. So, Rick, tell them what they need to do, Rick. Let's end with the closing remarks.
Hey, closing remarks. Hey, all you got to do is just log on to the website, www.meatstarbbarbecue.com. Check out the products It's a real easy, user-friendly website. I also got apparel on there. I got aprons, I got sweatshirts, I got t-shirts, I got hats. So just come on out and visit me. You know, try some of the sauce, some of the products. Maybe you can get you a shirt or a hat. I guarantee you won't be disappointed.
It's TNT approved, guys. I wouldn't be on here telling you if it wasn't. You would be hard pressed to find any better barbecue sauce. And get hot. Get hot. I mean, the mild good too, but the hot is off the chain. That's my favorite. My wife, she loved the mild. It is good on everything. I actually eat it on chicken tenders. I get my chicken tenders and my wings, and I like to smoke them, and I put that dog on. Man, they so good. Oh, I got some YouTube videos using the meat froster. I got to use it from when he first got out there to me when I was at my old house rig. I used it on half to now. The sauce is made for ribs. To me, ribs and chicken. It is some of the best sauce you can have, guys, on ribs and chicken. So, guys, right there, go to Meat Stall, barbecue, get you some ribs and chicken, man. Some sauce you can put on your ribs and chicken, your hot wings, all that kind of stuff. You won't regret it, guys. This is a veteran for the United States Navy. He retired 22 years, Rick?
20 years.
20 years, retired vet. And right here, he asked a question, can you deliver to Canada, Rick?
Yes, sir, I can. Send me your address, I'll get it to you.
Okay, just go over there, order, you get you some sauce to Canada. So
hey T, my camera's my phone about to die here in a little bit, bro.
All right, guys. Well, I love y'all. I will see y'all later, guys. TNT Barbecue for Rick. Love y'all. Be blessed.
All right, take care. Find you some meat and smoke it.
Ooh, kill it.